Hi there, Jen here, checking in with day one of the BookBuddyAthon. I have no makeup on yet. It's still early in the morning. Today is Saturday, May 6th, and my daughter has a dance competition, so we're going to be doing a little bit of that. I had a cake that I had to get finished for an order for today, so I was just putting on the finishing touches of that. But I made myself a coffee, and I'm going to have a little breakfast, and I'm going to start in with my first book. So I just thought I would give you a quick intro and let you know that we're off to a bit of a slow start for the first day, but we will get there. All right. See you soon. Bye. All right, so I'm finally getting in some reading. I have a couple of hours before we have to leave for a dance competition, so I'm going to have to get Kaylin's hair and makeup started for her soon. And my cake hasn't been picked up yet, but hopefully it will get picked up fairly soon. And in the meantime, oh gosh, look at my hair. I haven't done any makeup or hair or anything. I just want to get in a few chapters before we have to leave. So I'm starting with Big Little Lies, which is our buddy read. So Sarah and I have decided we're going to try and do about 12 chapters a day, and I think I can probably get a few of those done before I have to head out for the day. And then I think what I'll do is I'll actually bring a different book with me to the competition and see if I can get started on a second book. So my kids are watching TV. They're all being quiet and good right now. They're always good. And they've eaten, and I have got my coffee, and I have got some yogurt, and I've got a buddy to keep me company. So all should be well. I will check in with you in a little bit and let you know how far I've gotten. Okay, so we made it to the dance competition, and we just have a little bit of time to kill, so I'm sitting outside enjoying the beautiful weather we're finally having, and the boys are playing and getting some of their fidgets out before we go in and sit and watch all the competition. So I'm going to try and get maybe a chapter or two of the grown-ups done, and then I'll be well into 2 books. I'm already at chapter 6 of Big Little Lies, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So we'll see how far along I can get in this, and I think that'll be a pretty successful day 1. So we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Alright, so we are done dance competition for the day. We're back home. We're going to watch a little bit of hockey and just chill out. I'm going to try and get a couple more chapters in of Big Little Lies, and I think I'm going to hopefully get a Project Life spread done, because today is International Scrapbooking Day, so I want to make sure I get something done for that too. So more dance tomorrow, and hopefully a lot more reading, but I did pretty good today so far. I'm halfway through my chapters, so I'm just done chapter 6 from Big Little Lies, so I should get the last 6 chapters done for that. And I'm at page 14 in the grown-ups, so that one's going pretty quick too. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye. Okay, day 2 of the readathon. So we are sitting in chapters right now, killing a little bit of time while my husband's at a record sale. It's this huge sale that's going on, so he'll probably be there for at least an hour or so. So I took the kids, and we're going to hang out at chapters and read some books and play with some of the toys. And then we're off to day 2 of the dance competition. So hopefully that goes really well. She had a lot of fun yesterday, so we're looking forward to some more fun today. Last night I was able to finish the grown-up, so that was really good. I gave it 3 stars, but I'll do a bit of a review at the end and explain why I gave it 3 stars. And I did get all 12 chapters of Big Little Lies done for the day. So my goal for today is just 12 more chapters of Big Little Lies. If I can, I might start another book, but I'm not sure how realistic that is, so we'll see how it goes. So later on today, I will give you another quick catch-up and let you know how things are progressing, but for now, it's afternoon, almost afternoon, and I still haven't started a book yet. So we'll see how it goes. Until then, talk to you later. Bye. Oh, it's the end of day 2. I am in bed. I'm going to try and read a couple of chapters of Big Little Lies. I didn't actually read anything today. We were just so busy with the dance competition and all the stuff we had to do. So hopefully I can get through a few chapters before I fall asleep. I'm up really early tomorrow. I start work at 6 a.m. so I can't stay up too late. But at least I should make a good dent in the chapters that I have to read. And then I will hopefully finish them all tomorrow, plus the 12 that I'm supposed to read tomorrow. And maybe if I have enough time, I can start one of the other books too. But we'll see how that goes. So day 2, probably only a few chapters of Big Little Lies is what I will say I was able to get through. But we'll see you tomorrow, and I will let you know how I did. Talk to you later. Good night. Today is day 4 of the readathon, and I think I'm doing pretty good. Sarah and I have gotten to chapter 48 in Big Little Lies, and we're both really enjoying it, and we're really liking discussing our theories and things like that, so that's been a lot of fun. It's a great book to read with somebody because you kind of just get bits and pieces as you go, and so it's kind of fun to try and figure out what's going on. I also finished The Grown Up, and I am about 2/3 of the way done The Ocean at the End of the Lane. So I think so far so good. I should be done The Ocean at the End of the Lane tonight, and tomorrow I will start into the next book. So I think I'm feeling confident that I'm going to get all of my books finished, and I'm having a lot of fun so far. So if something significant happens, I will pop in tomorrow and let you know, but if not, I will probably see you again maybe Thursday or Friday. I will talk to you all then. Bye. Hey there, this is my last check-in for the readathon. Today is day 7, so we're wrapping things up. I still have a little bit of time tonight, so I'm going to hopefully try and finish the last book that I have. So I finished Big Little Lies, and it was awesome. I really enjoyed it, and I will do a wrap-up and review of that one. I finished The Grown Up, and I finished The Ocean at the End of the Lane. I finished the 2 stories in Slasher Girls and Monster Boys, and I am about 1/3 of the way through my other book, the Heather Graham book. So hopefully by tonight I will be able to finish that one too, and then I will have done 5 books. So I will come back tomorrow and give you a quick wrap up, let you know what I thought of all of the books, but I wanted to check in and just let you know that things are going really well. So hopefully everyone else is having good luck with their readathon and having lots of fun, and I can't wait to see what everyone's been up to. Talk to you later. Bye. It is wrap-up time. So I finished my very first BookBuddyAthon and my very first readathon as an adult anyways. So let me tell you how I did. The first book that I started reading is Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. This is the book that Sarah and I picked as our buddy read, and we both really enjoyed it. This was a fun book to read with a partner, or to read, you know, as part of your book club, because there's a lot to discuss in here. The characters are really well written, and it's one of those books where everybody goes home saying, oh, this character reminds me so much of my friend from yoga, or the lady at the grocery store. They're just all really very realistic characters that we all have in our own lives. And so it's kind of fun to read about the dynamics and what's going on between them. So we follow 3 main characters, Madeline, Celeste, and Jane, as well as their hubbies and their families, and a whole host of side characters that help to support the story. And basically the 3 of them have children in kindergarten, along with all of those supporting characters, and we're just along for the ride of what's going to happen between them going into kindergarten and then trivia night, where something big happens. And the thing that I really liked the most about this book, apart from the very realistic characters, was the style that it was written in. So you read each chapter, you get a little bit of what's going on with each individual character, a little bit of their past, a little bit of sort of those things that are happening in their lives that they don't want other people to know about. And then at the end of the chapter, you get some little snippets of interviews, and most of those interviews come from all of the supporting characters. And that is where the comedy comes in a little bit, because the rumors are flying and the accusations of things going on, and it's just really, it's really funny to hear that because it's so realistic. And I think a lot of people can say, oh man, like I've said that before, or we've had a situation like that happen at our school, or that type of thing. And that is really where you get all of your little breadcrumbs about what happened at trivia night. So it's a very good balance of keeping things real, keeping things realistic. I think some people might even find that she really puts out there how ridiculous parents can be sometimes over the silliest things. But it was really fun to read. I really enjoyed reading it with a buddy. I really enjoyed how fast-paced it was, and I really liked that it kept me guessing until the end. I could pick up a few of the little breadcrumbs, and I think I had an idea of what might have been happening. But honestly, there's no way to truly guess until the end, because Leanne does a great job of just giving you those bits and pieces of information you need to lead you to the next bit of information that you need. So yeah, 5 stars. I enjoyed this one. The next book I read is The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn, and I really enjoyed this book too. It's a really quick, short story. I actually kind of wish that it had been a little bit longer, and it definitely leaves me wondering if I'm right or not. So basically this follows a young girl who doesn't have the best life growing up, and she's now working in the sex trade, and she's sort of looking for ways to maybe get out of that. So she decides to go and help a woman who comes in with a haunted house. And so it just follows what happens with that, and there's a bit of a twist at the end, and it leaves you wondering about which direction the answers actually lie. So it's really good, and it was a lot of fun, one of those sort of classic haunted house stories. And yeah, I would love to see if a sequel or something like that comes out, mostly just because I'm curious to see if I'm right about what Gillian Flynn was hinting to. So the third book I read is The Ocean at the End of the Lane, and this is classic Neil Gaiman. It was full of mythology and really beautiful imagery, and it sort of has that fairy tale-like quality to it. So basically the story starts off with a gentleman going home for a funeral, and on the way to the reception after the funeral, he finds himself drawn to his old home where he lived until he was a young boy, and to the house of some people he meets one summer, the Hempstock women. And they live on a farm, and at that farm there's a pond, and he's really drawn to go and sit by that pond and reflect for a while. And while he's there, he starts to remember what happened to him in this monumental summer, where his parents had some financial trouble. They had to bring people in to sublet his bedroom, and some scary stuff happens to him. He's only 7 years old that summer. He meets the Hempstock ladies who live on the farm, and of course they are these magical, all-knowing women who help him to overcome a monster and things like that. So very classic, very beautiful, lots of themes about growing up and finding your place in the world. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'd love to read it with my daughter, and I think that she would really enjoy it too. But there were just a few parts where the story was dragging a little bit, and I kind of thought maybe it wasn't helping the story necessarily, and they could have been cut out. But other than that, it was a very good book, and I gave it 3 stars. The fourth book that I read is actually 2 stories out of Slasher Girls and Monster Boys. So the first story I read out of here is J. Kristoff's Sleepless, which is a sort of classic urban legend style story. I think it was about 30 pages long, and basically it tells the story of a young boy and a young girl who are IMing each other over the computer, and of course they fall in love, and you have all those classic warning signs of you know, not knowing who's on the other end of your computer, and should they meet or should they not meet, until one day she really needs his help. And then of course there's a big twist at the end. So it was a really good story, quick story, that very classic sort of horror story with a quick twist. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. And the second story I read out of here was Stitches by A.G. Howell. Also, again, I think it was about 30 pages, so a really quick short story. And another urban legend type story. This one is about a father and his 2 daughters, and they, of course, have no money. He's an alcoholic, and he's just run through all of their money. They've lost their farm animals, and their garden is going to shambles, and he's not sure how he's going to be able to pay the bills until one day he meets this stranger and things happen. So I really enjoyed this one, and I think, again, a great twist at the end. They're both the kind of twists that seem really obvious, and so you might guess them right away, but it's still enjoyable to read the story and follow through with it. So I liked them both, and I'm really excited to finish off the rest of the stories in this book. My 5th book for the readathon is my guilty pleasure book. So I have Haunted Destiny by Heather Graham, and I'm not finished this one. I'm finding it just a little bit hard to get into. I will get there though. I should finish it because I've started it. So I'm on page 71, which is only just going into chapter 4. But basically it starts off the way that all of these books start off. There's a serial killer on the loose, and Jackson Crow and his partner are headed onto the cruise ship called Destiny because they think they've seen him board that ship. And when they get on there, they meet a lady who works in the piano lounge. She's the pianist, and she can see ghosts, and so it's just going to progress from there. There's already some attraction between her and Jude, who is the other detective, and so I think there'll be some steamy romance going on with them, and of course lots of ghosts. So eventually I will finish this one for sure. So I thought it would be fun to give Sarah 3 questions about the bookathon and 3 questions about our buddy book that we read, to see what her answers are. So I think that it's only fair that if she's going to answer those questions, that I should answer them too. So the first question is about the bookathon. What was your favorite book that you read? And I think I definitely have to go with Big Little Lies. I really enjoyed that one. For all the reasons I've already explained to you. So that would be my favorite. The next question is, how many cups of coffee did you drink this week to get through the BookBuddyAthon? And I'm thinking I probably averaged 2 a day, which is a little bit more than normal. Usually I'm a 1 a day person, and sometimes none on the weekend. So I'm going to go with 14. Yeah, 14 cups of coffee. What is the most that you read in one day? And I think that is probably 12 chapters in Big Little Lies, plus all of The Ocean at the End of the Lane. And then my 3 questions for Big Little Lies. So the first one is, who was your favorite character? I think my favorite character, I think the easy answer is that my favorite character was Jane. I felt really empathetic to her character and the situations that she had been through. I remember being the young kindergarten mom once upon a time, and so I know that that can be nerve-wracking. I was new in my town as well when my daughter was going into kindergarten, so I really could see myself in that. But I also have to say that I really enjoyed some of the side characters. Samantha and Jackie and those characters who were sort of saying things like, I can't believe this is happening, and just sort of being the voice of reason sometimes, but also finding all these situations comedic. I could really see myself being that way too, because I tend to laugh things off a little bit more and try not to take things too seriously, so I really enjoyed those characters. The second question is, what theme or moment or idea of the book do you think is going to stick with you the longest? And I think for me, without giving away too many spoilers, there is a big theme here of women sticking together, being there for each other, motivating each other, and being supportive of each other. And that no matter what happens from day to day, in the end, we need to have each other's backs. And the third question is, would you recommend this book, yes or no, and why? So obviously I'm going to say I definitely recommend it. It was a lot of fun to read. I think if your book club hasn't read it yet, go out and get this book. You're going to enjoy it because I loved it. So I want everyone else to read books that I've loved too. And that is it. That is my wrap up. So I think I did pretty good. I finished 4 out of the 5 books, but I did get a chunk of the way into that 5th one. And I really enjoyed myself. So thank you so much to Sarah for being my buddy and having lots of fun reading Big Little Lies with me. I'm glad we both enjoyed it, so that was good. And thank you to Elena and to Janet for hosting the BookBuddyAthon. And I can't wait to do it again next year. If you have any questions or comments about the books that I read, or you want to know more about other stuff to do with me, let me know down below. And until next time, I'll say goodbye. See ya!